Hey, welcome back. Playing Oxygen not included on hard mode. I have to show you something. I was generating oxygen mask with cobalt ore forever. Let's remove that setting. What I had wanted was worn oxygen masks. Those can be well, actually maybe I'll even turn that off, because how many masks do I have? Oh my goodness, let's find out. 118 masks. Oh, and the rocket landed. This is the rocket from the other world. So that brought back some cobalt ore. Now that won't be used for generating masks anymore. Please, please, no more masks. Let's empty out some of these bins. Notice that this material is very cold and it's been cooling this area down, causing these pipes to freeze and break. Don't want to see that happen. So I'm going to prevent water from going in the rocket by snapping the pipe there and snapping the pipes all around here. That's going to cause some mopping up, but I'd rather have that happen than continually have pipes break and the dupes constantly trying to fix them. So you two are claiming that. I'll let you sleep tonight, but I'm going to disable those beds in the morning because I'd rather have you sleeping in a... Well, it is technically, that is a barracks actually. I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess you can stay there. So on this asteroid, and last time I had installed this cooling system, which is good. Right now I want to create a barrier right around here so I can dig into this area, fill this with oxygen, allow the dupes to be able to go in here, but ultimately make some Atmo Suits, and we're going to go to Oil Biome and get some of this crude oil. I want that loaded into this rocket. Actually, no. I want a bigger rocket because I want to store crude oil inside the rocket, but in a vacuum. And this is going to be too small for that, so I'll just, for starters, let's just destroy that rocket. And I'll come back when this dupe has this wall created. Alright, continue the process of filling in this wall here. Work around that heavy wire, but this will seal off this whole area from leaking oxygen in space if I break this area. Okay, so now I can tear into this zone. So destroy this tile, start digging out some of these plants. And bleach stone. We'll make a tile system going across. And I'll build a spot for Atmo Suits. Dupes are in a good mood. Must have slept well. Let's do some mopping up so your feet don't get wet. Let's have a look in the home world. Alright, I want to clear out this area because I want to make a polluted water to oxygen system. Also realize this pump is submerged. So I might actually need to raise that. Let's build that up here. I'll put the automation higher up as well. So what did I have? I had a knot gate. And then a filter after that. Just to determine when this pump would be on. A little bit of automation wire to hook it all up. I can get rid of the old one. And just make sure that that can actually feed into the carbon dioxide and other gas line. So that is enough for those dupes to do stuff. Let's give these dupes some tasks. I want to get rid of that bleach stone. And we're going to make a Atmo Suit checkpoint right here. with 2 Atmo Suit docks, 2 for each of the, or 1 for each of the dupes. And that will need oxygen sent to it. So that is this one over here. This is my hydrogen line. Just move this over a bit. And we'll send the oxygen line here. Just have to wait for my dupes to catch up, and I can make some of those changes. So that this Atmo Suit docking station will have some oxygen. So the dupes can go in here and breathe and have temperature protection as well, because that is 76 degrees in certain places. So I'm going to put some brine at this location. Do that high priority. So the dupes will do that. That's essentially going to allow me to create a vacuum in this area, just preventing the really hot temperatures from getting into my base. That'll be enough. Don't need a lot. Destroy this now. And once these are filled with oxygen, we'll be able to get in there. So we'll need to get back the checkpoint station. Do that right here. And while the dupes are waiting for oxygen to be filled, that was a light bug. Shine bug up in space. So yeah, while I have the dupes waiting for oxygen to be filled, let's build this rocket here. This is going to be a bigger rocket than I had, and it's going to have a vacuum area to store hot material, because that crude oil definitely is going to be pretty warm, and don't want that to overheat the rocket and cause its passengers to pass out while they're on their way back home. So let's build this. Let's build the top to that. They're going to need access to get to the top to actually put that on. The first thing I will want to do is ensure that it has oxygen, so when the dupes are doing some construction inside of that, they can breathe. It takes a while to fill those stations. But nice thing about it is the dupes can go around for quite a while before needing to be refilled with oxygen. So now that one of the Atmo Suits is nearly filled up, I'm going to dig down stair-like fashion here. One of the dupes can go in there. They will create a vacuum as this brine follows them down. And that's what's going to be the temperature protection from the 70 degrees temperature here to the 30 degree temperature on this side. Let's watch Miner dig through this. We're going to put on a suit when he crosses through. There is the Atmo Suit. First Atmo Suit this playthrough, a vacuum is created right here. Actually going to get another vacuum at this location. Not that I need two, but hey, it's not going to hurt. Now, I'm going to be very careful not to go into a zone that has a sporchid plant. I want to dig that out from underneath it before I actually get in there. What I also would like to do is mop up some of this brine so it doesn't mix with the crude oil. So we'll look at doing that. The other thing that would be nice is if I could actually use some of this hydrogen for power. I think I'm losing pretty much all my hydrogen out here, so if I dig out over here, I might actually get a little bit of hydrogen that can accumulate over here, and I can get this hydrogen generator one run, which has not run since I've gotten to this asteroid and built that. So Miner is going down here and digging out this. This is going to give me the opportunity to do some mopping. Guess I don't need to dig that one. There. So now I can actually dig in this area to make sure that... Okay, another one of these evil plants. Let's dig out that from underneath it. That is creating zombie spores. Luckily, I don't see any zombie spores in the air. Well, it's a vacuum, I guess that's not possible in that case, but it is in the liquid. But if I were to actually dig into it and allow some carbon dioxide or other things to get in there, well, that'd be absolutely terrible. Okay, let's look at things over here. This is a different case. I don't have any zombie spores in the liquid there, so I could actually go in there. Now I want to make my way towards this. Might as well give that to one of my dupes. It's a skill upgrade or some sort of interesting trait. We'll find out what I end up getting there. So first thing I want to do with inside of this rocket is just about any other rocket is provide oxygen so the dupes can breathe while they're building stuff. So I'll do that now. Just double check that I actually have an oxygen line that can reach. Oh, wrong asteroid. Whoops. Just double check that I have an oxygen line that can reach it. Oh, short by 1. Okay. Let's have a look over here, very close to running this machine. Just need to have one of the dupes build this. I'm going to choose miner to go in here because they are the ones that often get most stressed. So scientists building ladder. Just going to do a save before I go in there and assign that to miner. Alright, so miner's going to go in. While they're doing that, a scientist can destroy some of this automation. Alright, miner has the upgrade. What did they get? Health bonus. Okay. I'm going to reload. So this time I got a plus 10 to strength. I think that is going to be more well suited. Let's see, do priorities. Miner now has a strength of 13, so they don't do a lot of moving stuff given the fact that they're primarily dig. Might actually change that. So this is what I was hoping for. Deep diver's lungs. Minus 50 grams a second, and because they're a miner, they're all often going to go into areas that may be low oxygen compared to the other dupes, especially when they're exploring new asteroids. So now that I've got that, I'm just going to get some of this refined metal. Oh, this battery could overheat. Let's destroy that before that happens. Now what I want to do is start pooling all this crude oil into one spot where I can dig it out, or pump it out rather. I'm going to pool it at this location. Let's dig up like that. That's going to allow me to have all this oil. Oh, let's tap into this. I'm going to essentially get this this crude oil to meet this one. So I just have one pump that needs to be made. Now, that should be gold amalgam pump. Temperature, well, temperature's 58, 66. Might not need it, 72. I only need it if the temperature is above 75 degrees. 77 down here. 72. I'm going to just be cautious and make it out of it anyways. And I realized earlier that I don't have any more gold amalgam because I've been building stuff out of it. One item was this pump, but I don't need that pump anymore. The other one was this pump, and I found that out by going in this perspective and clicking on metal, and it shined gold. I was like, that is not needed because that's nowhere near 75 degrees. If it was, I'd be struggling with bigger problems. I just realized the Buddy Buddy seed is not happy there because it's actually got too cool, which is a really nice problem. All this cool brine system taking temperature down at the base, but Buddy Buddy seed's not happy about that. And I'd like to have that available for the dupes. So I'll plant that right there. Let's go to the home world, see how they're doing. Still trying to get that pump together. They cleared out this area here. Let's drain a little bit of water or brine that's up there. Alright, so I should have gold amalgam now. I'm going to put a pump right there. That's going to head towards the rock. I should always make material out of what you have locally, just to make it easier to build. Igneous rock is the better choice in this case, so I'm going to choose igneous rock. Oh, my pump's gone. Whoops. I didn't mean to cancel the pump. Alright, so the pump is there. This is going to be igneous rock pipe. This is going to make its way out of the oil biome towards the door. And then once I get to the door, I'm going to switch to insulated pipe. Igneous rock for that. And as I go through the base, just before I forget, I'm going to put Buddy Buddy seed in here. So that's going to give 5% reduction of stress. Alright, so I'm going to hop over that pipe. Hop over these ones. Continue the insulation. Once I get to the outside in space, don't really need the insulation. And this is going to go to the rocket. Now let's do the design for this. I'm going to start off building 3 tile. Actually, no, I'm going to start off just making these 2 tiles and putting some liquid right here. I'll use brine for that. And that's what's going to prevent a vacuum over here from escaping, allowing me to store really hot materials in this rocket over here without actually affecting the overall temperature of the rocket itself, currently sitting at 21 degrees. Just notice that I've got too many things on this circuit. It's not causing the circuitry overload because I'm using a transformer, so I'm safe from that. But this one is struggling, so I want to put more things on the heavy watt wire. And instead of extending the heavy watt wire system, I'll just build things close to the heavy watt wire, such as this. So this is going to be my new location for the oxygen pump. It's going to send oxygen over here. So the pump will send it into here, and everything that's not oxygen can be filtered out. I just need a little bit of heavy watt wire to connect it to this here and here. Set here, there we go. Now I can, well, I'll wait for that to be built, but I can get rid of these two and save me a little bit of power on that one circuit. Let's check on the dupes. On the Desolans, still working on that pipe. They're also going to need power. Make this out of cobalt. I can see a pump or a pipe needs to be connected there. Do that later. And this is just going to go to the small circuit out here. Buddy Buddy Plant is back, so that's some good news. Now that I have a bottle emptier here, I'll put some brine. Do that at high priority. See if I can convince a dupe to pick up some brine, put it in the rocket. There's got to be brine lying around here, right? Oh yeah, there's going to be tons of brine actually at that location. But they're on break, so maybe they'll be done later. Okay, so I've got brine. I just wanted some on this tile, so I'm going to destroy bottle emptier. I'll destroy this tile here. And make sure that they mop up all of this. Dropped way too much because I was busy doing something else. If you had it done earlier while I was watching, you wouldn't have to scrub so much. Alright, almost done. Make sure that there's nothing right there. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll build 3 tiles right here, and I'll destroy this tile after, creating a vacuum, and we'll continue this process until I've got all of the vacuum all around here with airflow tiles in here. So that this is where essentially I'm going to have my liquid reservoir sitting, storing the hot oil, and that is going to be sitting on top of a vacuum, so it can't interact with the temperature of the base, which is going to prevent this from increasing and avoiding the dupes from passing out when they travel back home, and allow me to store lots of crude oil, at least all that I have over here. But I can also store some storage bins in there as well, and take back some hot lead, hot fossils, and any other material I find in this 70-degree temperature zone. Cycle 300, so nearly ready to have a liquid pump crude oil to this rocket in the homeworld. Working on a system to produce polluted or oxygen from polluted water over here, as well as making clay. This is going to make a lot of clay, and that's thanks to these deodorizers, which are going to be lined up on these 2 floors. So now I can create a vacuum area within this rocket right here. Scientists catching their breath on the way in. Now I want to put a airflow tile right here. And the other thing I'm going to do is put in a pipe now, because it's not going to be possible to build this if I forget and do this later. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to have an insulated pipe from this point on. But this is going to be the vacuum area, so these 2 pipes don't need to be insulated. So the dupes already have 3 liquid reservoirs filled up for this, so I might as well, even though the system isn't ready yet, I can still load it with polluted water. So I'll just tap into the polluted water line, which is not far away, and load 3 liquid reservoirs filled with polluted water. This is going to be filtration medium. Let's put 4 tons in each. Check on the dupes on the other asteroid. Alright, so I've got a vacuum right there. Let's keep expanding. I'll create a vacuum here, and eventually build 2 liquid or airflow tiles next to each other. That's for the liquid reservoir to sit on top of. You were complaining about being warm. What are you doing building this out of warm material? That was not smart, dupes. Oh well. So this is going to be the airflow tile. Creating more vacuums in here. Continue building more tiles out. Actually, hold on. Destroy this one. So proper order to this. You need to get just right. But so far I've got 5 tiles connected that are in a vacuum. If you include the airflow tiles. Destroy this one. Okay, just one more needs to be created here, dupes. Oh, you're hungry. Okay, well. Come back later. Now, I don't think I can plug all this. Not so much the deodorizers, but 2 pumps that are going to be sitting here into the current, or the closest power line, which is over here. So what I'm going to actually do instead is build another transformer and have a separate line that's going to service this. I used to have a vacuum area here for storing some water. I don't need that anymore. On a different food source. Sure, the dupes would appreciate never have to go back to eating dirt and water as a food source. Destroy all this. Get in here. We'll put in a transformer in this area. Now I can go and create a liquid reservoir. I'm going to make that out of gold amalgam, just in case that oil is too hot. I don't think it will be. So the oil here, this is going to be a line that goes in, that's insulated. It can avoid going through tiles if I can. And that's going to send liquid oil into here. I can even destroy this when that is filled up, giving me 5 tons of liquid oil in a vacuum area. And I can send that back to my homeworld and I can fill it up again. Maybe get 10 tons or how much ever is in there, plus some iron ore, some, wrong asteroid, some fossils, and I want 1 or 2 of these, or their eggs too, the Drecos. That's going to go back with me as well. I might need to give one of the dupes animal wrangling skill before I make that happen. Okay, let's build a new transformer that's going to be put right here. I will have heavy wires going down into it. Oops. And I'll have regular wires going down over here, making sure not to mix in the current circuit that is there. And I'll connect that into here, which will provide power to these guys, but also to air pumps, gas pumps. One will be here, one will be here. We'll even have some automation for this. So it's going to be gas sensor telling it to only operate when it gets really high. But I'm going to put an AND gate through there. Might be easier if I change this a little bit. Put the AND gate pointing up like this. Put the gas sensor on one side. Atmo sensor right here. And that's going to go into one side of this. The other side is going to be this one here to tell it when to operate. And that's going to tell the pumps to be either on or not on. So it needs to be high enough pressure within here. And this thing needs to be either 50 type of thing. Basically, if it gets too full, I want the pumps to back off, because this is going to be a basic filtering system. So these 2 pumps are going to join. Expecting the oxygen won't connect it fully just yet. So I'll have gas shut off right here. with a sensor, determine whether that's oxygen or not. If it is oxygen, it's going to send a true signal. And that, if that's the case, that'll go in here. If it's not, everything else, maybe a little bit of polluted oxygen, hydrogen, or carbon dioxide maybe, that will be vented out right there. And now I will have an oxygen line going towards the base that I can use. Maybe we'll start off just venting it at this location. And I'll just clean up some of this other stuff. See some crude oil making its way towards the rocket. Let's have a look inside. Oh, ha! Guess it's not actually making it in because the dupes didn't have the ability to reach up here. So I'll give them a ladder so that crude oil can make its way towards the liquid reservoir. Alright, so the pump or pipe was installed. Now I can see all this warm crude oil being brought into here. So while that is loading, I decided to tell the dupes to build these bins. This is going to store some material that I want to bring over. Apparently it's bedtime. I don't think so. I'm not done with the dupes. So fossil is going to go in here. I want some refined metal. That is going to be lead and iron also brought in here. Not just that one, but any one of those. Diamond I don't need just yet. It's a little early for that. But there's lots of lead. Now that has the disadvantage of overheating, but depending on when you're using it, it may not always matter. And it's refined metal, so you can build all the same things that you can from anything else that's refined metal. So I'll get the dupes to start cutting out some lead, some fossil, so it can be brought back to the home world when I finally get there, along with this crude oil. Maybe some more algae might be useful. Have a look at this. So yeah, I'll wait till this gets completely full, 5 tons. Destroy it, rebuild it, and I'll get more and more crude oil at that location. Let's look at the polluted water to oxygen system. Oh, actually pretty close now to having this all lined up. So I've got this new line, circuitry line, not built yet because some tiles are in the way. Do that right now. And I'll just make sure I have a wire bridge located right there. I'm going to snap these 2 wires. And if I have that the case, then everything on this side will be part of this new circuit. If I could just get a dupe to snap those wires. There we go. So this is now part of the new circuit. Once that bridge in this little area here is created. Oh, they can't get over there. That's why we're not progressing. See that the pump or the pipe wasn't moving anymore or moving around, so that gave me the clue that this needs to be destroyed. And I'll rebuild it when it does the destruction task. One of you 2 dupes wants to do that now. That'd be great. Oh, there we go. It's going in here. So this is going to create 5 tons of crude oil. I've got my gold amalgam back, so I can simply just rebuild it. And like I used this trick for bringing lots of water to this asteroid, I'm going to use that for bringing lots of crude oil, along with the temperature protection from this. Just before I turn this system on, I want to build 2 auto sweepers. Oh, automation is in the way. It can be easily fixed, I suppose. So the auto sweepers are going to be responsible for filling these guys here with sand. They'll both need some power. And that's why I built the sand storage here. Don't have a lot of sand in them. But the dupes will fill that up in time. We can destroy these. And that's going to create some polluted water bottles, which output polluted oxygen. You can see some polluted water now turning to polluted oxygen. I'm going to build 2 more of these, offset them. I'm going to say if the pressure is above 333, and that pump can run. It's getting double true, which means it should be on, but I don't see anything. Oh yeah, it's because I didn't connect it yet. So let's see the filtering. A little bit of hydrogen is going to go down when it detects oxygen. It will go into the liquid gas reservoir and be filtered out at this location. I might add more locations just around the base. Let's not go through that that way. So we'll put in a second filter, or gas vent. Oh wait, that is not what I want it. Okay, I'll put in a gas vent right here to release some oxygen that I'll be provided from polluted water, and I've got lots of polluted water to feed into that. So the dupes finally completed the solar panels on the left side of my base. Maybe I'll expand over on this side of the base. I'll connect that with heavy watt wire. It's going to meet here. Oops. So that should provide a good amount of power, at least during the daytime. And I've built these way up here so that I could build a large power plant down here with all kinds of steam turbines, but that's in the future. I think the next thing to do, other than that little extra solar panels, is build a spot where I'm going to put my first steam turbine on this asteroid for some cooling. So these 2 dupes are now starting the process of transporting material here. I definitely want to make sure I give them extra carrying skills in order to improve that. So that's scientist is okay, miner, you're going to get extra carrying skills. So we'll build a pump up here, and I want to have the same automation I have on the home asteroid, which is basically detecting whether it sees hydrogen or not, and a gas element sensor can make that out of lead. So I'll put that right here and basically say if I detect hydrogen, but for a certain amount of time, so that's a filter. Make this out of lead as well. And even the automation wires, why not make that out of lead? So if hydrogen is seen here for, let's say, 200 seconds, then I can run that. Get rid of this one, because that's never going to operate. See, a little bit of crude oil from this critter that came out. So I guess I'll have to mop that up. Check on inside this rocket. So far I have 10 tons of crude, another 5 tons when this is destroyed. So I noticed I had a bottle emptier here with automatically putting polluted water. So let's make sure I hit sweep. Fortunately means anytime that I've got polluted water, I want to sweep, I explicitly have to say so from this point on, at least while I'm operating this. I'm not going to be operating this system long term. It's mostly about generating clay, to be honest. But the nice thing about it is I get very low temperature oxygen because the polluted water that's going into it is -8 degrees. So this is the first time I've seen hydrogen filling down in pipes towards my hydrogen generator. So that'll keep the dupes off the manual generator as you're watching mine or right now spin through that. Did that not make it? Oh wait, what's your setting? I'm going to put you as 99. So now I've got the manual generator. You know what? I'll just explicitly tell the dupe they're not needed at the moment. I'll put that setting down lower. I expect my dupes to be on this asteroid longer than the last one, so I'm going to build a second liquid reservoir to store their polluted water from the washing. So I'm going to continue to use this oxygen line. Send oxygen into this, which is being used by the masks. I can even disable this one simply by removing that. So I don't need that pump anymore. And filter. You can see radiation poisoning affecting the dupes as they advance over here. They don't have enough glass for that one. I guess we can produce a little bit more glass just to make that a thing. So that's all the oil that I had over here making its way towards the rocket. To get some of this lead, bring that with me. So there is the last of the crude oil going in. Now what I can do is destroy this and start building bins, and I'll get some material such as that iron and fossils and lead brought into this rocket. They may be pretty warm too, so I'm going to put them in the vacuum area as well. Now I just broke into this room. It's not a problem at the moment, but if some of this carbon dioxide sinks in, things could get really bad. So dupes, if you could build a tile right here at very high priority, well, that would be very much appreciated. And then once they do that, I'm going to dig a path in here over to this point so I can dig this out. So I want to do this now before I forget about it. You know, it's only a task level 9. Don't worry about it. Okay, so that gives me some protection from the zombie spore and the fact that this is still a plant, it's not alive, but if in the right atmosphere, it very much could be. And it's just waiting for some carbon dioxide to get in there. Polluted oxygen is the only reason why things didn't get really bad for me. Just realized I was not paying attention. So I will build a tile here before I dig this out. So I don't want this to fall down, though it shouldn't matter because zombie spores. No, I still want to keep this liquid out from this part of the base. So let's build that. Perfect. Let's dig here and then dig there, and that will take that plant out. It can be destroyed. Let's look over here. So I'm starting to accumulate my resources. How am I doing for phosphorus in this asteroid? Use that for fertilizer right now. Phosphorite, 4 tons. Wouldn't hurt to bring a little bit of that back with me since I've got a fair amount of it on this asteroid. Alright, so now that I've gathered some phosphorus as well as lead iron phos, so let's dump everything out. So I'll copy that, so all that's going to land there. Now here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to mark everything to be swept. And inside the rocket, I've got a bin here, and I'm going to say, technically I can just say everything that's swept. Double check that I haven't swept random objects I don't care about. So that's going to get the dupes to start to load all that material. A lot of it could be quite warm. Let's check the temperature. Some of them are 46 degrees. Not comfortable if the rocket heats up to that on the way back. So I'll check this to see it get up to 20 tons of material. Right now that's lead and iron. Now the nice thing about this is I don't need a dupe to destroy this and rebuild it. I can just click everything off, turn it back on. And because this material is not marked to be swept, they're not going to put this just back in the bin. They'll load it with the material that I've been gathering down here. While they're doing that, I will plan out a ration box because I don't want to send one of these dupes back home with this material. They'll also want let's not give them laboratory. Give them an outhouse so they can use that. Give them, be nice and give them 2 rooms to use when they're traveling, barracks and latrine. So when this rocket returns, it's going to give me the ability to make steel, and I need lime for that, so I'm going to up the priority of this to generate that. Oh, apparently I also have enabled the building.